Welcome to Ad Space. My name's Elise.
And I'm Jackson.
Each week, we'll be breaking down the most buzzworthy campaigns, social trends, and advertising news through the eyes of Gen Z.
With sharp analysis, authentic debates, and real audience insights, we'll unpack how Gen Z responds to the strategies shaping the industry today.
Let's get into it. Episode 2. We're back on video for a second time.
Live in living color, episode 2.
But you won't be able to see us on video next week. I'm sorry.
No, sadly, we are going on hiatus for 2 to 3 weeks. We, as students at the University of Kansas, are leading our National Student Advertising Competition team. And this week, next week, the week after, and the week after that are grind week. It's like Klansbook week. It's a really big deal. We're really excited to be doing it.
Yeah.
But we're stressed and we're busy and we just got to lock in.
Exactly.
So,
but next week is also spring break too.
Yeah.
So
what are you doing?
I'm going to Nashville and Florida for spring break. I'm excited.
That's hype.
A little vacay moment.
I'm going to NOLA, New Orleans. New Orleans, for those not in the know. I'm excited. I've never been. It's like going to a foreign country. I don't know. That's what it feels like.
So this means you get to go back and rewatch all of our, or re-listen to all of our other episodes. Why miss us?
Re-listen, re-comment, re-share.
Exactly. Well, let's get into the ad update. So welcome to the ad update, where we debrief the most impactful campaigns from last week. First up, we have NPR. The For Your Right to Be Curious campaign, just launched from NPR last week, is done by Mischief at No Fixed Address. And essentially, they changed NPR's iconic logo letters into questions. Why, who, how. They put these, they swapped the logos out at their Washington, D.C. headquarters. They put it on billboards in New York City and Chicago, put it across video, social media, turned it into tote bags. They also took a full-page ad in the New York Times and put in the company's manifesto, which is very cool. I do recommend going and giving it a read. Very good. And the campaign poses the question for the viewers, all different kinds of questions, such as why are groceries still so expensive? They even mention some things about ICE. They bring up questions about celebrities. And the campaign serves as a reminder that any attempt to silence curiosity will only inspire more of it.
This is a great campaign. I mean, we can talk about the timing of it in a second, but just to explain it visually, they basically changed their huge logo on their building. Instead of saying NPR, it says why.
Yeah.
Very simple. How? Who? WTF.
And of course, yes, one of them does say WTF. That one's my favorite. If you first glance at it too, you don't even recognize that anything is different.
Yeah.
Which I think is so interesting. And I mean, like Jackson said, timing.
With the budget cuts that this administration has brought upon, all public media this last year. I think they went into place last October. This larger political context of, that silence that's being brought upon, broadcast. And I think it's widely affecting other news networks in general. Specifically, NPR lost all funding and now they're reliant completely on public donations and advertising money.
Yeah. Even if you just think about things that are happening just in general political climate, even now, before and even after they lost all of their funding, but also just how people think of news nowadays. And when you think of a news publication and a radio station, thinking about fake news and it's polarized and all this kind of things, I think it definitely cuts through some noise and reaches, I would say, the entire spectrum.
I agree. But to focus specifically on Gen Z, I think that there's and maybe from an older audience perspective, that NPR is kind of obsolete, kind of dead. But NPR and Edison report showed that the 13 to 24-year-old audience Gen Z segment spends 22% of their time with spoken word audio, and compared with those aged 13 to 24. So this is definitely the podcasts are a huge thing that Gen Z is tuning into. And I can speak for myself, and I know that at least you two listen to the Up First and some of their other programs.
Yeah.
Because for me at least, it's something that feels very authentic. It isn't the overcrowded opinions news that you get on, mainstream media or
Yeah.
from honestly most written news outlets nowadays. It's just very objective, and I know that it definitely it can have a leaning, I'm aware, but overall it's more an objective, personal feeling kind of way
Mhm.
to get your news, which I think Gen Z is just tuned into right now. They're looking
Absolutely.
for something that doesn't feel like it's being influenced by a billionaire owner,
Oh my god,
like the
yeah.
Wall Street Journal, Jeff
Exactly.
Bezos.
Exactly, exactly. It's just kind of like I would say, a reliable source to go to,
Mhm.
and you can follow them on multiple different platforms too. I think they do a great job of, like, sharing the news that they have to talk about, like you mentioned, through their podcast, then on their socials, but then obviously they have their website, and then they're tapping into, like, obviously other news publications, paper with the New York Times and the Manifesto, but I think especially another thing to talk about this campaign is the amount of earned media that it's generated.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kinda like I mentioned earlier, no matter who you are, it caught your attention in some manner.
Mhm.
And I mean, we talked about Gen Z. I think Gen Z specifically loves it because it's just kinda cheeky.
It's cheeky.
It's a little poke the bear,
Mhm.
which I love about it.
It's almost I don't wanna say offensive, but it definitely, like, when you think of NPR and you think of, like, the dull, mundane voice,
Yes.
"Welcome to the NPR radio hour."
Today we
It's great
discussing
through that. Right, right, and it's, like, those questions that are pressing, like, "Why are groceries still so expensive?" That's really on people's minds, and it
Mhm.
gets to that, and it starts conversations.
Mhm.
I can't say enough about this campaign.
Yeah,
It's so great.
we love it. Well, moving on to our second campaign, from Heineken, they created, or this ad was created by Le Pub Worldwide and Publicis Dublin, together. And this campaign is about preserving the Irish pub.
Mhm.
So it's a documentary focused on a pub in Killy, Ireland, under the title "The Pub That Refused to Die," based on a true story. It follows 26 locals who brought out the pub to save it after it went up for sale. It's a hero documentary. Campaign is centered around preserving just like generally pub culture,
Mhm.
and more than just Ireland, all around Europe and even like kind of in the US, just
For
like
sure.
third spaces culture. But creating shared experiences for every local. For the Love of the Pubs is also the title of their accompanying social campaign. And specifically, I really liked, Heideken's website described, "The pub is woven into our social fabric, a part of the soul of our culture where stories, conversations, and the crick resound within its very walls." So it's talking about how just pub culture in general is a part of Ireland's culture, and then obviously about Heineken, this
Mhm,
beer
and this
company.
this campaign comes in response to, 2,100 pubs closed in the country between 2005 and 2025, and they talk about it in the documentary how essential a pub is to the towns in Ireland.
Mhm.
It's the heart of the town, I think they say. So, just really great stuff there, and I think I would love to talk about the activation that went along with this because
Yes.
I signed up for it. So, they set up and it's on the Heineken website.
You can do it
Yes,
as an audience member
anyone can.
all over the world.
Pub Succession, which again, they aired it in 2025 with the same time as this documentary. So, Pub Succession is all of these pubs that are going out of business. If you match the surname of the pub, then
Mhm.
you are a candidate to take over the pub.
'Cause the issue they were finding, especially that Heineken was finding with, why all these pubs were closing is because younger family members didn't wanna take over
Mhm,
the family
mhm.
business. They had younger people in their family that just, like, had bigger dreams of moving other places, out of the small town, didn't wanna go into the business of owning a pub. So, if Jackson is not on this podcast when we come back from our hiatus, he's in Ireland owning a pub and owning a pub.
Sign up.
We'll see, I don't know.
If there are there
Any Ingles
I
in
kind of doubt it,
England, but
but
you
fingers
never know.
crossed. I'd love to run a pub.
I
I'd
thought
be a little barmaid or bar owner.
Mhm. Anyways, I think we should also circle back to, the documentary,
Mhm.
specifically on this campaign, because I think it reminds me a lot about what we talked about last week with this very cinematic movie style type of ads and advertising and leaning kind of into this, like, documentary feel.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a very beautifully made documentary. There's, like, a 30-second trailer on YouTube, and then there's also I think is it 10 minutes long?
Yeah, it's
Total thing?
exactly.
Definitely worth a watch. Just, like, beautiful Irish
Beautiful cinematography,
coastline.
beautiful coastlines.
Yes.
It's really great. It has some humor to it. It's very human. And just again, I mean, we can say it a million times. Gen Z loves authenticity. Like
Yes.
this art-driven content where Heineken is really tapping into these peoples and their livelihoods and the heart of their town. Like
Mhm.
this kind of documentary is gonna get people to watch if it's
Exactly.
posted. I guess I didn't check if it was posted on social medias.
I think
I just
most of it are.
clips of it.
Yes.
That makes sense. But um, the YouTube video right now is sitting at around 5.6 thousand views, so it's definitely picking up. And then it's also being posted by so Heineken posted it, Lad Bible, if you're familiar, posted it, and just other earned media channels are spreading it just because it's really great work. It's
Yeah.
a heart touching story.
Also, it's just very on brand for Heineken, and I think it amplifies, I mean, like we mentioned earlier, some of their former campaigns that they've done and just their overall brand message too. Great work.
Work, work.
All right. Well, our final campaign for the ad update is by Rhode, and it's a collaboration with Rhode and Sarah Pigeon. So it leverages Sarah Pigeon's breakout success as Carolyn Bessette Kennedy in Ryan Murphy's Love Story. The campaign taps into the current It Girl for the new Rhode makeup spring campaign. So she's promoting new products for their spring line. It introduces the brand's first ever red blush shade called Candy Apple, a raspberry pink teacup blush, alongside a fan voted limited edition peptide lip tint called
Hmm.
Sweet Pea and Pretzel. What do you think, Jackson, of this campaign? I know
So
it's a little out of your depth. Sorry.
it is, but it's just like it couldn't have worked out better for Rhode in this
Yes.
situation,
Yes.
right?
And if
So
you're not familiar with Rhodes like branding in the past, they don't
Mhm.
typically tap into super high, like trendy influencers. I mean, it was created
Right.
by Hailey Bieber, and they kind of mostly use her as like
Mhm.
a influencer figure almost, and they're not necessarily like other than user generated content and like sending PR packages to influencers. Those are really all they use in their promotional
Sure,
campaigns.
sure, sure, sure.
Keep going.
But just to talk about, how this worked out. So Sarah Pigeon, this show love story, it's based off JFK Jr.
Mm-hmm.
and Carolyn Bessette Kennedy
Yes, which I've
couple
heard is
kind of
very good.
I've heard it's very good. I haven't watched it. I've seen a ton of social media content about dudes in New York dressing up like JFK Jr., being inspired by it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of already having like this scene blow up on TikTok
Yes.
and the New York fashion scene.
Yes.
And Carolyn Bessette Kennedy already has kind of existed as like this 90s style icon
Yes.
for years.
And even for Gen Z too, like since the show came out, they've been talking there have been a lot of conversations about her style and like
Mhm.
bringing back 90s and like I think it makes me think of Rachel from Friends too, just kind of this like always like put together it girl. I mean
Mhm.
that's who she is. So I think it's really interesting that they picked obviously Sarah Pigeon to kind of
It just
bring that
yeah.
elevated style to the brand.
With Carolyn Bessette being like, clean girl, patient zero, this just really worked out in their favor to like, I mean, I feel like Hailey Bieber, as much as I know her, also really hits that like clean girl aesthetic. I love
Absolutely.
everything's, you know, perfect and, matte.
Mhm.
So, no, I just couldn't have worked out better. I just like nothing more to say. Great visuals too.
Yeah,
I really like this campaign.
there
Yeah.
you go.
Moving on to our social trend of the week. We have some mixed feelings about this one, but
Mhm.
let's get into it. So it's kind of titled more or less "This Is Who." It's the baby photo team trend that I know you have seen on Instagram,
Maybe
right?
your workplace did it, maybe, like, your favorite local business did
Mhm.
it. If you're a student, somehow your university probably did it at any
If you're
single
getting
Instagram ever.
if you're getting asked to submit a baby photo right now, this is why.
Yes.
Right? So let me explain it. So brands and companies have been posting Instagram carousels of their team's baby photos with captions like, "This is who you're asking to run the company. This is who answers your emails." This trend really kind of blew up after Valentine's Day. There was a little bit of a dry spot for content, and brands
Mhm.
just were like, "Oh, that's easy," and it is
Yeah,
easy, but
and we talk about a lot in the social trend about these, like, easy little
mhm,
trendy things that brands can just hop on and easily apply to themselves too,
mhm,
and this one obviously has been one of those. Um I think it's really interesting, like, seeing a lot of Gen Z people are kind of doing this because it's, like, funny that, like, feeling impending sense of doom as, like, somebody in Gen
yeah,
Z, like, "Oh my gosh, I'm behind, I don't have my dream job yet, I'm not where I wanna be, like, with my career, and I think, like, that makes me think of that insight just in general, and that's probably part of me why I think Gen Z finds it so funny. It's just like, "Oh my god, I should have started
It
10 years ago."
yeah, it is a bit comforting maybe to infantilize yourself in this way,
Yes.
but our thing is, it kinda reminds us of the scene from Broad City. "I'm just a baby.
I can only
I
see you
can't
in
I can
blocks.
see you in
What about
blogs."
blocks?
It's like, we don't need to see that side. I mean, like, I understand, trying to be authentic, but maybe it's just the fact that everyone's doing it, it doesn't feel authentic anymore.
Boring. You lost me 3 weeks ago.
Like,
It'll be so for real.
I don't really wanna see your CEO as a 5-year-old. I don't
No,
care.
because, like, on the flip side of that, and I've been seeing actually in the past few days, like, some creators talking about on their TikToks, like, how this trend is, like, really dumb and we need to move on. I think one specific creator said, "Oh, you were never a child?" Like, all of us were children at some point.
Yeah,
Let's, like, let childhood be childhood.
yeah.
I just think it's, like, and I understand why people love it, but I'm also just kinda like,
It's a little bit,
"Let's move on."
out of touch, maybe?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, people are gonna do it, but I it's a little inauthentic at this point.
If you are a social media manager, what's a way you could elevate it?
Oh, yeah.
Same thinking.
I would love to see some ironic takes on it.
Mhm.
This is who you're asking, and it's like them when they're 80 or something.
Yeah.
Aging them up. I don't know. That's not funny. Find a funny way to do it and do it.
Mhm.
All right. And now the ad news. Let's jump into the latest ad and PR headlines from the week. So we actually only have one story to cover today, and it's a disaster. So if you're living under a rock and haven't seen this, McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczinski posted a video of him trying their new Big Arch Burger with the intent of making him seem relatable, fun.
CEO at McDonald's eats the burger, so you should too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a regular American citizen.
But it came across awkward, uncomfortable, and like he was a complete phony.
I completely recommend going and, like, watching the video.
Yeah.
Such a laugh.
We're not going to do it justice. But if you check the agency page, you might see
Something similar.
something very similar. So, but in the video, he takes like the tiniest bite known to man, and he's like, "Oh, this is going to be my lunch later." And people obviously ripped him to shreds.
Mhm.
Brands were in the comments.
About every single brand you could think of was in the comments, and that's, like, almost the funniest part of the video because the McDonald's CEO, he has, like, a pretty decent social following, and he makes videos, like, about being a businessman and, like, his career, being a dad, what's it like to, like, work for McDonald's and, like, develop McDonald's products, but, like, he did this and it was just so horrible. He did a similar video when they unveiled snack wraps again.
And that was better.
And that one was better. He
Yeah.
was a little more like it felt like he actually cared. This one, it felt like some intern was like, "Hey, can you please do this?" He was like, "Fine, sure."
Yeah. And just like, I think the main faux pas that people really attacked him for was calling it a product
The
the whole
burger's a
time.
product, yeah.
I love this product. It's so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now. It's like, if you want us to like crave this and like, oh, I want to eat that, don't call it a product.
No.
Call it a burger.
And it felt just incredibly out of touch. I mean, it said he's getting paid, I don't know how many billions of dollars a year to run McDonald's. I'm sorry, that's not who's regularly buying McDonald's. It's people our age or people who just need a quick bite to eat on their long commute to work. It's not billion-dollar CEOs.
Mhm.
So they were trying to be relatable, trying to be authentic.
Which I like, but
Yes,
I don't know. It came across very Zuckerberg.
exactly.
Old Zuckerberg, 2014 Zuckerberg. That sound means it's time for Battle of the Brands. And speaking of the McDonald's controversy, today's battle is who clapped back better, Wendy's or Burger King?
So, like we mentioned, all these brands were in the comments of the McDonald's CEO videos, roasting him, saying all these different funny things everybody thought was engaging. And Wendy's and Burger King decided to hop on the trending thing that was happening and make their own videos in response to the McDonald's CEO video.
So, my brand for this episode is Wendy's. So, Wendy's posted this video on like LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok of their CEO not just eating the burger, cooking the burger, making a frosty, and grabbing fries before he sits down with the food. And all the while poking fun at McDonald's, saying things like that Wendy's beef is fresh, never frozen, and talking about their Frosty machine, poking fun at McDonald's ice cream machine, which is always broken. He kind of went past just the burger insult and
Yeah.
was like,
He gave some rough digs.
he did. He was mean, but he was funny and he was authentic. And I think that's what really matters. And that's what sets it apart. So, really, the main idea of this video was that the Wendy's burger is worth a second bite with that fresh, never frozen tagline, which really, I think, worked well with this concept. And just,
Absolutely.
they executed this, it synced up so well, they were able to bring it to life really quickly.
Mhm.
And I think it speaks a lot to the CEO. I mean, we were talking about, we don't really want to see the CEO, but sometimes whenever they can show out like this, show that they know the food inside and out, they don't feel completely scripted. They feel like a person. Sorry,
Mhm.
McDonald's CEO. It's just, it brings it to life.
Yeah.
It makes you want to eat that burger. And I have to say, the burger in the Wendy's video looked really good. Like,
Yes. And
it's
he,
really good.
he did devour it.
He did.
He ate almost the
It
whole
was a
thing
big bite,
in about 3 or 4 bites.
a real big bite.
And I think he said something too, poking about, like, "Let's take a real bite of this
Mhm.
burger." Yeah, no.
And then to go along with this, Wendy's also launched their chief tasting officer position. Did you see this?
I did see that.
Hilarious. It's
Mhm,
like,
mm.
I mean, it's basically a bunch of people. It's an open application for people to be the chief tasting officer at Wendy's and try all their new products,
Yeah.
which is, it's just a fun way to like really commit to making fun of the McDonald's
Oh,
CEO.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought they really went all in.
They did, but did Burger King do better? So my brand is Burger King. So they did something again similar, but I think took it even a step further than Wendy's did. So Burger King's president Tom Curtis wanted to obviously show up the McDonald's CEO what a proper bite of a burger looked like. And the short video that's been trending the most on their Instagram page is a shortened video of a longer video that they did. And it's captioned "Replay this," and it shows Curtis taking an enormous bite and saying, "Only thing missing is a napkin," and then enjoying the rest of his burger. So, this video, just this one, drew over 250,000 likes and thousands of comments from even other brands that were like, "Oh, they did it better," just engaging with each other again, still poking fun at this McDonald's CEO. So, the longer video that they did, similar to Wendy's, the Burger King CEO went to one of their like developmental kitchens. Um, he actually also brought along, like, one of their chefs, or I'm sure one of the
Cool.
people,
Yeah.
yes, that they help develop all of their, menu items and everything like that, and she was there standing telling him, "Here's where we source our lettuce from. Our mayo is fresh. Here's all the specific items on the burger. Here's what we do with the buns." And he's staying there asking questions, almost from like a customer perspective, because obviously he runs the business, but we all know we're not dumb. He's not the one in the kitchen actually making it, but he's there learning about his company. Another part of the video too is he was taking into account things that he did some like social listening. He watched some TikTok videos, looked at some comments about what people are saying about the Whopper and how they could make it better.
Yeah.
I wish the Whopper tasted more like this. I get it and it's really fresh, but sometimes I get it and it's not. And so he took those comments and then had conversations with them, with this like chef that he had in the kitchen while they were making a burger together, which I thought was just like even a step further from like our CEO enjoys our food. Our CEO listens to you as an audience member and enjoys the food.
Which was good, but the only one thing missing, a napkin. That one was so corny. Sorry, but like, come on.
But it went viral.
I
So
It's a dad line, like I get it.
he's dad though.
Well, okay, sure. But still, he's a dad and a cornball. So,
Yeah.
I do think that it's important to note the settings that these took place in. The McDonald's guy who's in either his office or it looked like a hotel room,
Yeah.
basically. It was completely
Corner
full.
office. It
Yeah.
was just boring. There was nobody else in the video. Like it was awkward.
Yeah.
Weird.
With my guy, Wendy's, he was in the kitchen. He was cooking it up. It was a very warm feeling. And then he ended up sitting down at a real normal table that is at a Wendy's and
Yes.
just ate it. And it was great.
I do remember, props to Wendy's, he dipped his fries in the Frosty too.
Which is like a classic cultural thing for
Exactly.
Wendy's fans, right?
Exactly.
So, and The Burger King CEO, I do like that it was, in a kitchen. I don't it just felt like it was, like, too elevated for me. IMO.
They did make it into a production pretty
Yeah.
much. They had multiple videos made about it. They're still posting about it on their socials, but at the same time, the CEO, he's personable, he's casual, he's fun, he's humble, he's authentically authentic.
He looked like a chiller. I'll give that to him.
Yeah.
Well, let us know which brand you think won this segment of Battle with the Brands by going to our Instagram at the Agency KU to vote on either Burger King or Wendy's.
And now our 3-minute meeting. For this segment, local Kansas City and Lawrence brands submit marketing questions or pitches for what they would say and ask if they had 3 free minutes with an advertising agency.
Today's client is Kristin Christopher Jewelry, a handmade jewelry brand based in Lenexa, Kansas, founded by metalsmithing husband and wife duo Kristin and Chris. The brand creates hand-fabricated sterling silver pieces using traditional metalsmithing techniques, with every item crafted from raw material in their studio. Their customers range from young to young at heart and love expressing individuality through unique, handcrafted jewelry, often starting with simple, stacking rings or studs and returning for more statement pieces over time. Kristin Christopher primarily sells at in-person art fairs in Lawrence, like Lawrence Art in the Park, or and online. And their big question for us today is how can they grow online sales and reach new customers beyond the events where most of their loyal buyers currently find them?
All right, let's start that 3-minute timer. There we go. Okay. So, first talking point we wanted to mention was increasing their online sales. And we thought this could start with tiny little minute changes on their website. Personally, Jackson and I loved the review page. And if you look at the review page, every single review is 5 stars.
Yes.
So, obviously, their customer base is loyal, they're returning, and we would suggest showcasing these pieces on people, how they're styling them, how they're using them, how their customer is bringing them to life. And instead of just seeing like the piece on just like a white or black background, seeing them incorporated into the person's signature style.
Especially with Gen Z, I mean, like, that's what we're experts on, right? And that's what we're
Mhm.
gonna talk about. Gen Z does love to see, like, they love to see how it can curate with the whole fit. I think going to, like, that, like, Lawrence in, Art in the Park, like, I've been there, and you see so much jewelry everywhere, and it's hard to decipher, what's really gonna work for me, what's gonna fit my style,
Mhm.
and just being able to see it as a fit would really help.
Exactly. Then next we wanted to kind of talk about how you can translate growing online sales within their Instagram.
Mhm.
So one of the big things that we kind of noticed is we feel like there's a lack of content that has possibility to start trending. A lot of the content, it feels like it feels very homey and like safe. And if you are a loyal customer and you know the brand, they post about their family, post about like them in the studio.
What they're up to.
Exactly, and it's so sweet and endearing, but we want to maybe start capitalizing on content that can reach audience of a broader network. So what are posts talking about how here's how our products are sustainable, here's specifically how they're made, here's where you can come find us, here's who we are. Creating those kinds of pieces of content that can reach an audience that's broader than just their current loyal following.
I think that specifically just making sure that, this content shows that you are in the Kansas City, Lawrence, Lenexa area,
Mhm.
and that's where people are going to be able to find you. And even if it was content like at some of those fest or some of the, like, the art in the park kind of events where, people are really going to be seeing you in action, I think that could help people visualize your store.
Exactly. And specifically, I think it's on your website. One specific thing they say, worn often and passed on.
Hmm.
It's how to describe their pieces of jewelry, which I think is just like you immediately get it. Like the vision for the person that they're trying to create this jewelry for, handmade, beautifully made, and you can wear it all the time. It won't tarnish. And then it's so high quality that you can pass it on then after the
So,
fact.
like, again, lean into the family story. We think
Yeah.
it's so important
Because
to
we
get
love
your
we
great
love that.
strength. Just have that family story be a little bit more maybe accessible to a wider audience. Make sure that your Instagram is not just, family posts, but something that anyone could get into right away.
Exactly. All right. And that's 3 minutes.
Thank you so much, Kristen Christopher, for submitting your questions and sharing your brand with us. If you are a local KC or Lawrence brand, we would love to feature you in our 3-minute meeting. To be featured, visit our Instagram or email us at adspacepod@gmail.com. That's adspacepod@gmail.com.
You've been listening to Ad Space by the agency.
This episode was produced by Brenna Burnett and Joe Bundo, written and edited by the Steam Whistle creative team, sound design and mixing by Joe Bundo, Wyeth Cooper, and Brenna Burnett.
Special thanks to our faculty advisor, Dr. Rose. This podcast is a production of Steam Whistle Creative, made possible by the William Allen White School of Journalism and Mass Communications.
To keep up with new episodes, follow us on Instagram @theagencyKU, and don't forget to like, rate, and review. It really helps us out.
I'm Elise.
And I'm Jackson.
And we'll see you next time.